Redesign. In God's image for His glory. Offense. John says that one of Satan's most deceptive tactics is something all Christians have encountered: offense. While offense itself is not deadly, he believes if we allow it to grow in our hearts, it can produce much fruit like anger, outrage, jealousy, resentment, strife, bitterness, etc. Those who are offended are sometimes oblivious to their condition because they are so focused on the wrong that was done to them. There are two types of offended people: 1, those who have been mistreated, and 2, those who think they have been mistreated but actually were not. Offenses of the heart that are not dealt with end up leading to betrayal, and betrayals not dealt with end up in hatred. An offended heart is the breeding ground of deception, says John. John says in Luke 17 verse 1, it is impossible that no offenses should come. The Greek word for offend comes from the word scand, which originally referred to the part of the trap to which the bait was attached. That word signifies laying a trap in someone's way. The Bible reminds us that people we are close to or spend time with can offend us deeply. He reminds us that we set ourselves up for offense by setting unrealistic expectations. John says if we want to walk with God, we do not have the right to be offended. Answered prayers. People don't get prayers answered because of offense. Offended Christians have never realized fully or have forgotten what they were forgiven for. Offense cuts you off from God, says John. We separate ourselves from the pipeline. I've never seen anything block blessings from heaven except offense. Leviticus 19 verse 18. You shall not take vengeance or bear a grudge against the sons of your own people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. Psalm 119 verse 165. Great peace have those who love your law, nothing can make them stumble. Proverbs 10 verse 12. Hatred stirs up strife, but love covers all offenses. Proverbs 17 verse 9. Whoever covers an offense seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates close friends. Proverbs 18 verse 19. A brother offended is more unyielding than a strong city, and quarreling is like the bars of a castle. Proverbs 19 verse 11. Good sense makes one slow to anger, and it is his glory to overlook an offense. Isaiah 8 verse 14. And he will become a sanctuary and a stone of offense and a rock of stumbling to both houses of Israel, a trap and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. Matthew 16 verse 23. But he turned and said to Peter, Get behind me, Satan. You are a hindrance to me. For you are not setting your mind on the things of God, but on the things of man. Matthew 18 verse 6. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck and to be drowned in the depth of the sea. Matthew 18 verse 17. If he refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. And if he refuses to listen even to the church, let him be to you as a Gentile and a tax collector. Luke 17 verse 1. And he said to his disciples, Temptations to sin are sure to come, but woe to the one through whom they come. Luke 17 verse 3. Pay attention to yourselves. If your brother sins, rebuke him, and if he repents, forgive him. Luke 17 verse 4. And if he sins against you 7 times in the day, and turns to you 7 times, saying, I repent, you must forgive him. Acts 24 verse 16. So I always take pains to have a clear conscience toward both God and man. First Corinthians 10 verse 32. Give no offense to Jews or to Greeks or to the church of God. Ephesians 4 verse 26. Be angry and do not sin, do not let the sun go down on your anger. Galatians 5 verse 11. But if I, brothers, still preach circumcision, why am I still being persecuted? In that case the offense of the cross has been removed. Galatians 5 verse 13. For you were called to freedom, brothers. Only do not use your freedom as an opportunity for the flesh, but through love serve one another. Galatians 5 verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness. Galatians 5 verse 26. Let us not become conceited, provoking one another, envying one another. Colossians 3 verse 13. Bearing with one another and, if one has a complaint against another, forgiving each other, as the Lord has forgiven you, so you also must forgive. James 1 verse 19. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. James 3 verse 16. For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice. 1 Peter 2 verse 8. And a stone of stumbling, and a rock of offense. They stumble because they disobey the word, as they were destined to do. First Peter 2 verse 23. When he was reviled, he did not revile in return, when he suffered, he did not threaten, but continued entrusting himself to him who judges justly.